What is peak hold? There are a lot of ways to define peak hold, but for our purposes, it's when weight, or force, is applied to material to determine how much it can withstand. When peak hold is enabled on your scale, it records the highest reading detected by the scale and holds the result on the display. How is peak hold different from a regular hold function? The regular hold function on most scales freezes the results on the display when the scale receives them. In this case, that means that the weight on the display would only show what first registered stable on the scale, paying no attention to the weight applied afterwards. Peak hold will record the highest value obtained rather than the first stable value, or the average of multiple values. It can be useful when a lot of weight is applied very quickly and removed just as quickly. If your scale measures 3 kilograms, 7 kilograms and 5 kilograms on it, it will hold and display 7 kilograms. Why is peak hold used in quality testing? Proper engineering and manufacturing practices expect a certain amount of resistance from products that vary depending on the material. For example, you don't want packaging to fall apart because of the weight in the box. Peak hold can be used to determine a material's tensile strength, which can help manufacturers determine if a material is suitable to contain and transport various objects, materials and chemicals. In addition, consistency is key. Imagine buying a bag of candy only to find that some melt in your mouth and others hurt your teeth when you attempt to chew them. You probably would not buy that brand again. Quality testers need to ensure that tools that see heavy-duty usage can always withstand daily usage without breaking randomly. A can with potentially volatile chemicals needs to be made of a material that can withstand a certain amount of pressure buildup before it breaks, or people could get injured. Many manufacturers use peak hold to test the amount of weight and pressure that can be supported by a part or piece to make sure components will not break from daily usage and stress on individual components. The peak hold function can also be used to measure the highest weight for multiple weighing results in a short succession. For example, you can place an item, weigh it, remove it and place another one until you're done measuring all your items, but the only weight recorded will be the highest one. Peak hold can also capture unstable weight spikes, while most weighing functions capture weight results once they are stable. How is peak hold used? Some scales allow users to set a time interval in which the scale will keep displaying the recorded peak. The user can either have it displayed for that time interval before the display clears, or manually clear the display. Scales will often record and display a peak until another one is captured. Why not use a force gauge? A force gauge is designed for measuring force applied on objects, so why not use one of them instead of a scale? The answer is quite simple. Sometimes the shape or weight of objects being tested is not conducive to force gauges. A force gauge is quite useful when measuring suspended objects or bow strength, but when a sample can't be suspended, an ordinary scale is better. Scales and balances often have more functionalities and can print or send results to computers, so it's easier to use them when collecting data. Some samples are quite small, so it's better to use a precision balance to detect small changes that could not be measured by a force gauge. Contact the Central Carolina Scale sales team for a complete lineup of scales with the peak hold functionality.